You've made the prudent decision to research portable battery generators. These quiet devices offer versatility, simplicity, safety, and peace of mind during a power outage or an off-the-grid adventure. Now you're confronted by dozens of choices. 200 watts, 2,000 watts. What does that even mean? And what the heck do you actually need? Don't worry, this video will have you calculating watt hours like a seasoned prepper. Before we get into the easy math, let's introduce a couple of terms you'll see in ads for battery generators. Compare watts versus watt hours. Watts tell you the amount of power a battery can deliver at any one time. Think of it like the size of the pipe, the limit of output. You need a generator with a watt output greater than the demand of the devices you want to run. We'll look at some examples as we go. Watt hours measure the total amount of energy stored, like the size of the tank. For instance, a 1,000 watt-hour battery can theoretically provide 1,000 watts for an hour or 500 watts for 2 hours. We'll talk later about why the math isn't exactly that clean in practice. You should also understand surge power. Sometimes ads for portable generators may appear confounding. For example, the Jackery 1000 advertises a 1,070 watt-hour capacity and a 1,500 watt output. At first glance, that sounds impossible. How can it output more watts than it stores? I'll drop a link to this particular model because it's a popular example, but you'll see the same thing across brands. So how can the wattage output be greater than the watt-hour capacity? The answer is surge power. Some devices, like fridges, tools, and compressors, need extra power when starting up. That's what surge capacity is for. For instance, a fridge draws more power to cool down than to maintain a steady temperature. A good generator accounts for this, but don't expect the battery to last long under constant surge loads. Think of it like a 100-gallon water tank. You could release 10 gallons per hour for 10 hours, or dump 50 gallons in 1 hour, then slow it down again. You're still using 100 gallons total, just faster. In this video, we won't rely on surge power for our examples. It's great to have, but it burns through your charge fast. Use it when you need to bring something like a cooler up to temperature, then scale back. To understand which generator you might need, consider the power consumption of some common appliances. Let's look at what you can realistically power with your generator. We'll start with the fridge because that's one of the first things people miss during a blackout. A standard refrigerator usually runs at about 150 to 200 watts, but may spike to 600 or 800 watts during a cooling cycle. Even with a 2,000 watt-hour generator, you won't keep a full-size fridge running all day, especially if people are opening the door a lot. That's why many preppers and campers prefer a mini fridge or an efficient electric cooler. Some camping coolers draw only 40 watts and can keep medicine or food cold for much longer. A 1,000 watt-hour generator can power some important basics. A laptop charger, about 50 to 100 watts. A phone charger, only 5 to 10 watts. Even fast chargers rarely draw more than 30. A small microwave, around 500 watts, so it's best used sparingly. You might rely more on indoor safe warmers or just cook outside on the grill. A fan is a good AC alternative. Expect 100 to 200 watts for a typical one. Some camping fans run on even less. LED lights draw about 10 watts, so they're easy to run. A radio, usually even lower than lights. You'll want to prioritize your power use to get the most value from your battery generator. These units have come a long way, but they're not a full replacement for a gas or whole house generator. What about charging your generator? Yes, you can recharge your battery generator. The fastest method is plugging into a standard AC wall outlet. That's why you should always top off your charge when a storm's coming or before a camping trip. If the outage lasts more than a day or two, you'll want alternatives. Most modern power stations allow charging via car adapters or solar panels, as long as you have the right cords and ports. Personally, I hate wasting gasoline during an outage, especially one caused by a disaster. I do own a car adapter, but I also invested in a solar panel. It worked fine under clear skies, but once the clouds rolled in, charging slowed way down. I'm talking several hours for what would normally be a 1-hour charge on AC. Even with clear skies, you can't expect speed unless you have an entire array of panels. That's why I'm glad I picked up a second battery generator. I used one until it got low, then I swapped to the second while I recharged the first. It took planning, but the built-in display helped. It showed me how much power my devices were drawing and how much charge I had left. Let's just say I squeaked by. It wasn't a perfect system, and I plan to upgrade with a second solar panel. Some brands let you buy an external battery you can charge separately, which may be more cost and space efficient than owning multiple full stations. You can even rig car batteries to charge from solar and feed into inverters, but that setup takes more fiddling and know-how. So, which portable generator should you get? That depends on two things. What devices or appliances do you really want to run? How long do you need them to run before recharging? Running a fan and a few lights is a very different challenge than powering a fridge. You've probably noticed that more wattage equals more money. Small power stations are pretty affordable. High-capacity models, they can cost thousands. The weight also increases with power. My generators got heavy enough that I bought a small flatbed cart, great for moving and storing them easily. Is my battery math perfect? You should only use these calculations as estimates. Performance will probably be 10 to 20% lower than your calculation, just going by the numbers. These systems aren't perfectly efficient. I'll leave you with a few parting thoughts. You'll need to manage expectations in order to manage your budget. But trust me, you won't regret buying a portable generator. They're easy to use, run quietly, and don't emit any fumes. They're great for camping, charging phones and tools in the yard, even jump starting your car in the driveway. But more than that, they bring peace of mind when the grid goes down. After last year's hurricane, my house was without power for a week. My generators kept the lights on, the fan going, the radio playing, and everybody's phones charged. It wasn't perfect, but it was better than sweating in the dark. As always, we hope you'll support the community by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. If you've got any questions or comments, let us know below. We love to see your feedback.